Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Nailah Abdullah. I'm a mental health therapist turned toxic relationship recovery coach. And my mission here is to help women learn how to heal, move on, and rebuild their life after toxic relationships. One of the comments that I see very often that you guys send to me is about the feeling that you've wasted time and that you can't get that time back. Oftentimes when we talk about toxic relationships, they are typically long-term relationships. And in the spirit and in the mission of trying to be able to heal and move on, that is one of the mindsets, that is one of the thoughts or perspectives that can be a hindrance to you being able to heal and move on. And if you know me by now, you know I often talk about moving on is not just getting out of the relationship, because I've met enough people to know that you can get out of the relationship. Even for myself, it took about 2 years to fully heal and move on, where the toxic relationship no longer had a hold on me. So you can be physically out of the relationship, but mentally still be impacted and affected by the relationship. So that mindset of, oh, I've wasted time, I can't get it back, it's an understandable feeling. I can relate. I've been there. Like I said, I came out of a 10-year toxic relationship. So of course you feel like I wasted my whole decade out of my life. So I completely understand that. But what I encourage you to do, for those of you who are really looking to heal and move on, and not just move on, but make sure that you don't fall into another relationship like that. Because let's be honest, there are people out there, that look different, right? They're a different person, but the same characteristics. And again, if we are not able to learn to heal and move on from that past experience, we can find ourselves in a similar situation again. So in today's episode, what I want to do with you is to help you to shift that perspective. Again, you're not wrong for thinking that, you're not wrong for feeling that way, but that mindset will keep you stuck, emotionally attached to the situation. It will keep you in a state of frustration. It will keep you in a state of anger. So if you feel any of those feelings, if you have those thoughts about that you've wasted time, you can't get it back, stay tuned, let's get into it, and let's shift that mindset together. So today I want to approach this topic from two different angles. The first angle is not going to be your typical generic coddling response. And what you often hear people talk about is, oh, no time is wasted. Everything that we've been through in life, is a life lesson. To some extent. But it's about what you do with that experience, what you do with that time. It's like that saying that, time heals all wounds. I highly disagree with that. And I encourage you guys to really dig a little bit deeper for yourself. Don't just take my word for it, but hear me out. Time can pass. However, in my experience, professional and personal experience, I have met people who have been through traumatic experience, distressing experiences, and they have carried it with them for 20, 30 years, right? So it's not about time. I wish it was. I wish it was that easy that we can say, okay, I'm just going to sit back and wait for things to get better. But it's what you do in that time. In addition to that, like I just spoke about earlier, if you get out of a toxic situation, but you end up right back into another toxic situation with another person, or a toxic friendship, or continuing toxic family relationships, it is just compounding those traumatic and distressing experiences. So it's not about time, and it's not just, oh, well, every experience is a lesson. It's about what you do in that time that will determine if it's a lesson or not. So contrary to popular, belief and comments and phrases, I'm going to go against the grain and say, for some people, it can be a waste of time. It can. It doesn't have to be, but it can. It can be a waste of time if you do not do the necessary work to figure out, how did I get into this relationship? Why did I stay so long, right? These are the questions and these are the answers that we have to come up with ourselves. This is the digging we have to do. This is the self-exploring that we have to do in order to really heal from the situation. Because if not, again, we will be out of that relationship. However, we will still be emotionally attached to the person, emotionally impacted by the situation, and end up falling right back into a similar situation, but just with another person. So now that we've gotten the harsh reality, the harsh part of this approach out of the way, which is the reality that yes, it can be a waste of time. The other side to that, the other approach to that is that it, like I said, it doesn't have to be. And how is it not a waste of time? If you do the work, if you do the work to heal and evolve, right? Evolve meaning we are changing. We are not the same person. What does that look like? You don't miss the person anymore. You're not dwelling on what happened. You have accepted it. Right? You don't have a sense of hatred and anger and extreme resentment. What that also looks like is that you are not in contact with the person anymore. You're not still trying to be friends with the person, right? You're not trying to be that in between. That is a place of denial. Now, if there are children involved, of course, you might have to be in contact, but what healing and evolving looks like is that there is minimal contact. Because you realize this person can be emotionally destructive. So in order to protect yourself, there is minimal contact and you're not emotionally triggered anymore, right? You are emotionally detached. So again, it does not have to be a waste of time. And it is so important for you to do that work where you come out of that space of extreme resentment, where you feel like this person has wasted your life, because this actually can be an opportunity to grow. From a personal experience, like I said, I was in a toxic relationship for 10 years. It also led me to heal from toxic family relationships. And I can honestly say I am a changed person now. I am an improved version. I loved myself before, but I love myself even more now because I have learned so much from it, right? I can speak to my daughter, my son about, what I went through and the lessons that I've learned. I can speak to my nieces and nephews and the next generations and you guys, right? Because I feel like I've gotten so much from it. I can't keep it to myself. I need to share that. So this was an opportunity, not by choice. If God had to ask me, how do you want to grow, Nailah? This is not what I would have picked, but this is what I got. This is a hand that I was dealt, and I used it to grow. I use it as a growth opportunity. So again, it does not have to be a waste of time, but it's what you choose to do with that time. It's how you choose to heal, whether you choose to remain stuck and in denial, like I said before, still trying to be in contact, still trying to be friends. Those are areas where, we may be saying one thing, however, we're still in denial. That's a denial phase. That is not a phase of healing and evolving. And again, you're not detaching from the person from a place of anger, right? You're detaching from the person from a place of acceptance that this is the hand that I got dealt. This is what I had to deal with. But look at who I am today. Look at the growth that I have today. Look at the strength that I've built today, right? So it doesn't have to be a waste of time. I hope that this was beneficial for you. Let me know if any of this resonates with you, if you've had these thoughts before, if what I'm saying makes sense to you, if you feel like it is something that you can start to shift. And if you want to know a little bit more about my personal experience, like I said, I got into this specific niche outside of mental health therapy to provide toxic relationship recovery coaching specifically because of my own experiences. I am on a mission to share my lessons with you because you don't have to remain stuck. I know a lot of people that are researching this topic, that are learning a lot of terminology and information. However, they're still stuck. If you are on YouTube over a year, over 2 years, over 3 years, looking up toxic relationships, narcissism, sociopaths, and you're not really moving forward, you're still on this topic, it might mean that there's some other shifting that needs to be done. It's one thing to acquire information, it's one thing to learn terminology, but it's another thing to be able to move forward in peace, to move on in peace, and to the point where you're able to receive new relationships and form healthy relationships. So to learn from some of my lessons, I talk more about it in my ebook. It is a free ebook. The link is down below. Go ahead and click that to get your free copy of the 3 mistakes that I made with toxic relationships and how you can avoid them. Guys, thanks for joining me. I hope that this was beneficial to you. If you have any questions or comments, do not hesitate to put them in the comments below. There is also a link to my direct email if you want to send me a private message, a private email, question, or comment. If you think this episode would be beneficial to someone you know, don't be selfish. Go ahead and share this episode. If you are not already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. And make sure to hit the notification bell so you're notified every time a new episode goes up. Guys, make peace your priority, and I promise you, you will get to that space of healing and new healthy relationships. Until next time.